welcome everybody. It's Ukraine Update here on the Shills, and it has been a few hours of absolute chaos. And I think Dan in the live chat pre-show said it best. A small depressed horse was sent off to a field in Belarus. So there's lots to go over. Holy God. I'm just going to cue the music and we'll get operator Starsky in to take us through it.
Hello everyone, operator Starsky here. Sweet 70433. No need to salute back to me because I'm a military. This week in Ukraine we had a lot of events, not only in Ukraine, if you know what I mean, it started with a strike conducted on the Chongar Bridge that connects Crimea to the rest of Ukraine. The Russians were so pissed off, so they decided to strike back, and they launched 13 cruise missiles at Khmelnytsky, where they thought our aviation, our aircraft were based, and 13 cruise missiles were intercepted. And the other day they hit Kiev with a barrage of cruise missiles. One of them that got intercepted is debris hit one of the buildings, one of the residential buildings in Kiev. Unfortunately, 2 people died, which was confirmed. And there was another massive strike during this so-called uprising in Russia, and approximately 50 cruise missiles were launched at Ukrainian cities. Approximately 40 of them were intercepted by the air defense. A lot of them were aimed at Kiev. Here we are, the day after the Wagnerite uprising. It's when the Russian terrorists tried to invade Russian fascists, and it was so freaking cool. I went to this local grocery store, and I noticed that the shelves with popcorn were completely empty. Even the popcorn, that you have to stick into your microwave and stuff, it's gone. We witnessed something very, very interesting. First of all, the Wagnerites that couldn't take any major city of Ukraine for more than 480 days. They took 2 major cities in Russia in like 1 day. Which is hilarious, guys. I mean, it is so freaking crazy. And basically, it was an opportunity to see Russians, all kinds of Russians fighting against all kinds of Russians. Putin against Ukraine and Girkin and Prigozhin against everybody. My God, Kadyrov against Prigozhin and Girkin and oh my God, like this unity in the Russian society is so amazing. It ended with Prigozhin shooting down 6 or 7 helicopters. 6 were confirmed, but other sources say that there were 7 helicopters that were destroyed. Thank you very much. On behalf of Ukrainian armored troops, thank you very much. Also, they've had like a not a ceasefire, but they had a peace deal. And Prigozhin destroyed seven or eight aircraft. He shot some of Russian soldiers that attempted to stop his troops, and Putin said, "It's okay, let's just be friends." So there are two things that people understood from all this shit show. First of all, Putin is zero. There's it's enough to have 25,000 skilled and experienced men with anti-air measures and tanks, and basically you can roll through Russia towards Moscow and almost
And
reach the capital of Russian Federation.
some of the fortified checkpoints were literally letting them through, weren't they, Starsky?
Yeah, absolutely, because a lot of Russian military units actually joined Prigozhin. They supported him. And another thing we understood is, despite all that mythology surrounding Wagnerites, Prigozhin, how you call a man who doesn't keep his word?
Hmm. Hmm.
Dick, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Liar, backstabber, a grifter, like somebody who purposely sets it up to be a liar.
Yeah, so it's like a dude who, in the beginning, remember when they're a lying sack of shit. Yeah, that's yeah. Thank you, Catalin. In the beginning, he was like, "We have to revenge for our fallen comrades, and kill everybody, And then he, like, yeah, like several guys died. Yeah, we promised to remove Gerasimov, Shoigu, but come on. Later we decided that Russian blood is going to get spilled, so we decided to just stop. So I think it was a big fail on both sides, Putin and Prigozhin. Putin, basically the dude who lost all of his power, who couldn't even stop a bunch of convicts, angry convicts, experienced convicts, but still convicts, and Prigozhin, who basically was stopped the very the very last moment. He was stopped. Maybe he got scared, maybe, I don't know, but actually I think that he had a chance. He had a chance, but it wasn't the best choice. His best choice would be to receive a shelter in Ukraine. Of course, he would have to face justice for all he did, because let's admit, Wagner is a terrorist organization. They committed plenty of atrocities in Africa, in African countries, in Syria, in Ukraine as well. They are terrorists like ISIS, same shit. But at the same time, he could give us a lot of useful information. And speaking of this, there is a conspiracy that actually it was organized by the FSB in the first place. So they decided to, reach several goals, including, improving their management, let's say, management of the troops on the ground. We're talking about their generals and shit. And at the same time, I don't think that this conspiracy is true, because Prigozhin made a lot of things public. He said a lot of things that were not supposed to be said. For example, regarding the Russian propaganda, because Russians have this informational agenda that they stick to, and they follow it without, making steps left or right. You gotta follow this agenda. Because this is what Putin says, and all of his subordinates say, all of his minions. So Prigozhin basically destroyed all that, which was so demoralizing for not only for the soldiers, but all because soldiers know they're pretty much aware about their losses on a daily basis. But for the rest of the Russian society, it was very, very much demoralizing. Also, just 1 month ago, they were glorifying Wagnerites because of Bakhmut. And just yesterday, those Wagnerites were uh, proclaimed as terrorists in Russia. However, those charges were removed again yesterday, and it's so freaking funny because you can get arrested and thrown into jail for like 10-15 years for just standing outside in Moscow with an empty banner. That's
Right.
all. And you will be arrested for that. But then the dude tried to, perform a coup in Russia, and he was forgiven very, very easily and fast. So it's a cringy situation, and these sort of situations always emerge when there is this imaginary world, this fantasy world that Russians build around themselves, right? It's where there are thousands of destroyed Leopard tanks. It's where they destroy like 10 Patriot complexes in Kiev on a daily basis. And Russia is winning and fighting at the outskirts of Lviv on the Polish border and shit like that. And when this imaginary world collides with the reality, there will be always such situations, specifically when there are people like Prigozhin who are powerful enough to play their own games. Because again, Prigozhin was responsible for bringing diamonds and precious metals for Russia, for Putin, basically, from the African countries. And he's a very, very rich man. He can allow all the things to be bought, for example, for his organization. He can create different organizations on a daily basis for the purpose of money laundering and things like that. So it was kind of fun.
Very much. Very much. So, I want to get a couple of shout outs in, and then I know we've got some viewer questions. Dave's going to help us get caught up. Then we'll hit Claire for a few news things. So, around the world in 45 seconds, see if we can do this. We had Robin Miller with a direct donation of $20 for the Boom Boom Fund. Too bad the coup ended already. Was hoping the orc cockroaches would kill each other. How's Little Fuzzy, a.k.a. Chicken Nugget, doing? Slava Ukraini.
Oh, she's doing fine. She met me screaming at the door. Basically, now I understand why she screams every time when she sees me when she's hungry. I realized it's because she was blind all this time. She couldn't see. Her eyes were closed all this time. Even after they opened naturally, they were still glued together. And she had to scream to her mom so her mom would hear Fluffy and feed her. That's why she screams so loud, because guys, you gotta hear that. It's insane. She screams like a real toddler. And that's why she keeps doing that, because she understands that if you scream loud, you will be heard and you will be fed.
Yeah, that makes total sense, especially from an animal brain, right? A couple more here. So from Little Dickens 2 for the Boom Boom Fund, we had a direct donation in of $25. Thank you very much there. We had Nadav Ben Shlomo sent in $350. Huge thank you. Those dumb Russians can't do anything right. Everyone was waiting to see them kill each other, and somehow they managed to fuck that up too. For the Boom Boom Fund. I love it. Thanks, Nadev. Huge thanks. Awesome. And then we had Tony Macbeth send in $25 for the Boom Boom Fund. So big shout out there. Thank you. Thank you. And computer fund donation from Little Dickens too of $15. So thank you. Yeah, I'm doing a little fundraising to get this system up to what it needs to be now. I'm pushing the CPU and GPU too far. So thank you for that one as well, Little Dickens. Let me make sure I'm caught up on that page. And pre-show, we had a member message from Susan Niffen. Big heart. The Shills, and a heart to the Shills family. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. And I think I'm caught up so far. So I'm going to give it to Dave for some viewer questions. We're going to try to get a poll up because we got an awesome idea. And I'll be right back after I feed a young man his lunch.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many good ones that are coming in. Last White Rose, member for 2 months. Hello to you. I believe I'm coming through. If we're just stuck on Starsky screen, that's okay. You don't need to see my face. A question about the limp coup results. Is Prigozhin now in cahoots with Lukashenko to toss Putla, or is Prigozhin placed by Putla to toss Lukashenko?
I think Prigozhin is hiding there. So there are several versions. First version is that he's hiding there for obvious reasons. Because Putin is not gonna forgive Prigozhin after this shit. But on the other hand, I don't really think that Putin is, this evil Stalin version 2.0, because he easily forgave Kadyrov during the Chechen campaign. He bought Kadyrov basically despite all those numerous Russian soldiers that were actually killed by Kadyrov. So I think it doesn't really matter for Putin. On the other hand, of course, it's a difficult question, guys. It's very hard to understand Putin's mentality. It's very hard to even justify it or find some reasons, because normal leaders, not like normal leaders, okay, it's wise leaders, they would not attack Ukraine. Even if they were ruling Russia, they would not attack Ukraine, because Ukraine is the second largest country in Europe after France, and there's still a discussion even which country is bigger, France or Ukraine. And also, all the training that Ukrainian soldiers had, all the tanks and vehicles and weaponry that we had, and all the relations that we built with the rest of the world during this time. You don't attack Ukraine because you will fucking die. Everybody thought that it was impossible, right? Literally everybody. All the foreign volunteers I talked to today, for example, they all thought no, it's not gonna happen. Putin will not attack Ukraine. Boom. So it's very hard to understand his mentality, and it's very hard to understand if he's gonna assassinate Prigozhin after all this stuff. I don't again, I'm trying to be Putin and think like Putin, because if I was Putin, I would not do that. I would literally use Prigozhin and his resources to achieve my goals. That is the wisest thing. But
Yeah, treat him like a puppet on strings, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There were a lot of things that Putin could tell Prigozhin to stop him from moving towards Moscow, because Putin knows Prigozhin since like 80s, early 90s. They worked together within the mafia circles, and it's like, how does FSB slash KGB work? How do they recruit people? They blackmail people. In order to blackmail people, you have to find all sorts of information on those people. And I'm sure that Putin has all sorts of information on different, even oppositioners, of course, individuals like Girkin, Strelkov, and of course Prigozhin. That's why, yeah, as CyberGeek says, compromat. Uh, he definitely has enough information to bury Prigozhin and his subordinates with all sorts of information, information on their financial schemes and things like that. Basically, Putin can eliminate a lot of Prigozhin's income and bury it forever. So yeah, maybe something like that stopped him. But again, there's a lot of things we don't know, and trying to guess from our level and from what we know, it's impossible.
Just a quick one, Dick. Did you mean to put a sign in on the screen?
Yeah,
So that
I
everyone can
have
see.
no idea. I have no idea what just happened. So for the rest of the show, there won't be a YouTube chat. I mean, I don't know what it just did. I didn't do a damn thing. Interesting, but if I can't do it without you guys seeing it, so there's nothing I can do. It's just fuck it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't want anything compromised. That's okay.
When I'm looking at that, Starsky, do you get the feeling that perhaps, I know we talk about propaganda in Russia a lot, the way that Prigozhin was out there speaking on Russia for weeks before this happened, do you think it might have been just a way for Putin to get back some credibility as to all of the negativity we were starting to hear in other countries out of Russia, that the Russian people themselves and organizations were starting to push back on how Putin was handling things? It seems almost to me like it was organized in some kind of way. The way the deal came through and got accepted right away, that it was either Prigozhin looking for a better deal because Russia needs them right now to continue going forward. There's so much negativity about what the Russian resources actually are. Russians themselves pushing back and organizations within their own confines of their world. It seemed to play out almost like a really quick. It happened so quick and so precise. I mean, they marched through, like you said, uncontested. If they had actually the military and some of these police on their side, then why did the deal happen so quick? Like you say, and he's still alive, number one. He's only going to Belarus, number two. He's going right back to Ukraine, almost with all his forces that didn't join the Russia side out of fear that they would be dead, which unfortunately I'm reading that they probably will be anyway. But like, it just seemed like propaganda, like what you're always telling us about, like watch for these little things. And to me, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, why are they pulling these strings? Because to me, I don't think Putin came out stronger with it at all. At all.
Yeah, I agree on that. First of all, we saw similar things recently when the Russian freedom fighters invaded Belgorod Oblast, Shebekina, and first time they spent several days there attacking Russian border guard checkpoints and military units, and later they spent like 1 week fighting in Shebekina because Russians didn't have enough troops to stop them and to push them out of their territory. So it was the same thing here, absolutely. And they were also using their helicopters and attack aviation. So I don't think that it was like a trick or a conspiracy or propaganda. Putin doesn't look good after this, because after this, everybody can see that Putin doesn't control, let's say, different opinion makers, military opinion makers. Putin doesn't have unity among them, the unity that they've had during like first days of the invasion. And I don't really think that what happened actually brought some kind of benefits to Putin. I think actually he was lucky that it all ended this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shocked because Putin looks so weak. I thought Prigozhin was properly going for it.
Yeah.
Couple of shout outs I'll do here to get caught up. Level 70 had thrown $30 super chat in. I heard the orcs tried to dump chemical munitions on Ukraine troops today, but the winds blew them towards the Russians themselves. Was the chemical compound identified? And NATO warned Russia not to use chemical or nukes.
Yeah, there were several cases where the Russians were throwing, let's say, tanks containing irritating liquids like tear gas, things like that.
Wow.
I'm not sure if we can classify tear gas as like a weapon of mass destruction, but there were such cases.
Crazy, yeah. Crazy. Okay, let me just see here. There was Niles Edom in the chat had gifted out 5 Shills memberships to Sank Zappa, Norm Lee, Just Neela, Mr. Dow, and Yahweh. So welcome to the family, everybody, and thank you very much, Niles, for gifting those out. That's awesome. Then we had Raven7, member message, member for 9 months now, too. Love to everybody. Focus on support for Ukraine. Good words indeed. Let me check over to here. I've got one more, and we've got Cisco for the Boom Boom Fund. I had champagne bottle ready for the Civil War. Sadly, it didn't happen. And that was a $25 donation into the Boom Boom Fund as well. And then I can welcome Dan to the Shills Apprentice. Welcome to the family, Dan. Awesome. That's Dan, who I stole the line from in the chat to open the show with. So, yeah. Definitely cool. You're a member. I love it. I think I'm caught up. I'm a little lost on the pacing now because I was serving Felix's lunch there. We should probably go to Dave and Claire, like kind of both at the same time here, really, with some questions and news.
I'll happily jump in. Sorry, Claire. There's about a dozen questions that have come in.
No,
so I'm
please
just trying
do.
to figure
Please
out
do,
which
yeah.
one to do. It's really interesting, actually. They're really great questions. And if you've got suggestions for polls as well, even better. Catalin T, do you think Prigozhin still has any influence in Wagner, or is he viewed as a traitor by the Wagnerites? I mean, that's very interesting because they seemed really up for it.
What was the question once again?
Is he viewed as a traitor, Prigozhin? How does Wagner actually view him now?
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because he promised Wagnerites that they will have their revenge, that they will remove Gerasimov and Shoigu. There are rumors that I think Dyomin is his last name, the dude that will supplant Shoigu. Maybe, nobody knows. But there's just rumors. They're not confirmed. But yeah, they expected a bit different ending to this, because they were prepared to go to Moscow, to invade Moscow, to invade Rublyovka. It's where all those rich Russian oligarchs live, and they were ready to do this. But in the last moment, Prigozhin said, "No, stop. We're turning around."
Hmm.
I think that's a reaction we can all agree with there. Damn it, Prigozhin. Follow through, buddy. Fuck.
Was that live?
Yeah.
Do you have to pay someone now? You're gonna get demonetized.
That brings another interesting question, though, Starsky. That when you say that, I think Captain T actually did actually have the same thing I was thinking. What does that do for Prigozhin with the Wagnerites right now, with his own company right now? Because he accepted the deal, turned around and left like that. He was, let's say he was peacocking for like 2 weeks, beating on his chest about all the stuff that Russia was doing, and then gets over there, takes over the city like that. Boom, a military compound for the South Military Army, right, of Russia, like where all the ammunition is, all of that, makes a big present peacefully, no resistance whatsoever, and then just turns and walks away. What does that do for his own respect amongst his own people? He's a paid mercenary. Now he's supposed to be badass. Like that don't really look too good, huh?
Yeah, but let's not forget that Prigozhin was a convict as well. He's not a military. One thing that made me, let's say, sure that Prigozhin would be killed if he attacked Moscow was that even despite, Wagnerites were so much experienced and armed and stuff, but at the same time, I still think that Putin has huge reserves in Russia, and if we're talking about the urban warfare, then basically they could bring a lot of infantry troops to Moscow, and it doesn't matter how many tanks you have, but in the urban environment, basically infantry and artillery, they make the final decision. They decide, infantry and artillery, and no matter if there's like 25,000 experienced Wagnerites, if there are 50,000 infantrymen, including special force of police and army and yada yada, then Wagnerites would stand no chance against Putin. Yes, the destruction would be like tremendous, but in the end, he would be eliminated. I think that Prigozhin was rather given an offer he couldn't refuse.
Probably that makes perfect sense. But what's going to happen in Belarus now? Because there's the other deal with the other guy whose name I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to try. The one with the L.
The
Yeah.
mustached potato head.
Yeah, the potato with the mustache. Yes, but so what's going to happen? Because now putting him there, sending him
Pudding.
there.
Did you say pudding?
Well, yeah, Putin put him in Belarus. Yes, he kind of like banished him there. That's where he's supposed to go. So, but that puts him in direct competition to the other leaders who's there, who was also put there. Like, do you think there's going to be a problem with the two of them? Which one has the accident first? Shall we lay odds? Shall we lay odds? Which one has the fatal accident first? Like, what's going to go on?
Good question. And if it's gonna be like a car, a window, maybe he will shoot himself in the back of his head.
Yeah,
like
the
5
poison
times.
thing's getting like so dated, right? Like that's so dated of them. They need new
Yeah.
tactics again. I make light, but actually, I think that's going to happen. Like, I could actually.
Yeah,
see
we
that.
will see. We will see. There was another, let's say, rumor. I would not call it a conspiracy because it was said by a by a, I believe, British general, who said that basically Prigozhin can start another invasion of Kiev from Belarus through, I believe, Chernihiv Oblast. Because 25,000 men is a big force, but on the other hand, we are prepared to deflect any attack from the northern direction. So I don't think they have a chance there.
That's good. Do you have another question for us, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can definitely throw something else out there. We were just having a bit of a back and forth as to what the next poll should be. There's already some fantastic suggestions. Where was I? Yeah, Julia, Operator Starsky, what was the Ukrainian army able to take advantage of this? That's the key question. You've had all of 24 hours. Does it feel like a little window has opened for you?
First of all, Russians were very, very much demoralized because of what happened. It's like, when you're dying there in a trench and then you receive all kinds of, messages. Some say that, Putin is finished, like, by this evening. And the other messages are saying that no, the Wagnerites, the most prepared and trained and experienced force, they're now traitors. How do you react to that? So they were demoralized. From what we can talk, I can say that we liberated quite a piece of territory in the area of Zaporizhian Oblast, Kherson Oblast, and Bakhmut. Specifically in Bakhmut, we managed to move deeper into the Russian-controlled territory, approximately 600,000 meters, between 600 and 1,000 meters on the flanks. So we had some success yesterday due to what happened.
Nice. I mean, a little fallout or rub off that way or whatever can't be a bad thing, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that because this shit is so demoralizing for Russians, they were literally caught off guard. And the most important thing is that Prigozhin told the truth about their losses, their actual losses, because he basically said the same thing that Ukrainian media were saying all this time, that their losses are 10 times bigger than they say on the Russian national TV.
That was huge, wasn't it? He totally contradicted all the propaganda in one fell swoop.
Yeah, absolutely. And he did that several times. First time he did that, his troops were hit with the Russian missile strike. And then he said the same thing already in the captured Rostov. And it was insane. I mean, when Russians start speaking the truth, I mean, something incredible is going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. The viewers have sent in a couple of great polls so far, so thanks, everybody. I am going to take a minute here to get caught up. Level 70 sent in a $15 super chat. It's too bad NATO isn't allowing Ukrainian troops to march on Moscow like Wagner. I would love to see Putin sign a surrender order at the end of this long table. Oh, yeah, I agree. And then Aussie T is going crazy in the chat, gifting out memberships here. So Aussie T gifted one to Andreas Lack, and one to Sousa, and one to Heinrich Barty. Somebody will correct me. But hey, thanks, Aussie T, and welcome to the family, everybody. Let me just check over here. I've got one more I can catch up on as well. I was going to say replace the fruit for the zoo animals that Starsky ate, but it's for the Boom Boom Fund. MJ up north, thanks. That's funny. Yeah. Everybody remember, we have to really work hard to feed the animals now because Starsky is a thief.
He likes his apples. Yes.
The animals got so much angry after I ate a tiny piece of apple.
Yes.
I paid for it.
Yeah. One slice. It's serious. They went nuts. You could hear them. They went wild. Like, it was a great way to open the video, actually. It was
Yeah.
like, what?
It
I
got
loved
your
your face.
attention. Yeah.
I loved his face. He was like waiting to look over his shoulder to see where all that noise was coming from. It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah. Oh, I love that too. That was funny. So yeah, I am all caught up over here. We have an excellent reason to hit one of our buttons today. So here we go. 1 second, fellow babies.
Oh, baby. God, that face. I love that face.
And by the way, that face,
Yeah.
it's like it's a cute face. Absolutely. I mean, it represents me in a way. However, I think that Dick can show you the real baby Starsky, and you will be fucking surprised.
That's right. We've got the real deal today, fellow babies. Check this out. Here he is, young Starsky.
Oh. No, you're
Right?
kidding. No,
Yeah,
really?
see, sitting there chowing down.
Not just young Starsky, but the young Starsky doing what he likes doing the most.
Eating
Yeah, the thing
food.
that makes him the happiest, eating.
Food.
He said it today, no less.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not the only one. We got this one. Look at this. Rock star in waiting, man. Look at this. Isn't that awesome?
I was metal as fuck
Nice.
back then, even before
Really?
it became like a mainstream, you know.
Damn, rocking
That
it in your
is
PJs
awesome.
and all. This is something. Wow.
At that age, one string is enough. So, you're probably...
I just noticed that.
One string is enough at any age. Trust me.
If you're really metal, right? Starsky,
Yeah,
one string is
especially
enough.
metal.
Like,
That's cute. We got two more.
So good.
We got two more, but that is just awesome. Let's rock and roll Starsky. We got to make a
Yeah.
T-shirt out of this, man. We have
my
to. That
gosh.
would just be totally funny. I
Look
got the
at
same
that,
one
it's
twice by
adorable.
accident. Yeah. I screwed up. And now we've got cool kid Starsky. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And by the way, that picture was
Teen
taken in
heartthrob
Crimea.
Starsky.
in Crimea?
Yeah, in Crimea in like 2004.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
And you can see as well, if you look carefully, you've got the dictator of Belarus in the background as well.
Well, Starsky was secretly sent to kill him, but somebody got in the way. But it was one of his
Yeah.
early missions. Yeah. Watch for the movie coming up.
Yeah, actually, it was exactly the day the Russian Kursk submarine drowned. And I remember those events. Like, we were chilling on the beach, and I was I was reading the book of Stephen King, The Gunslinger, for the first time, and listening to all those radio messages, radio updates about the Kursk submarine. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Awesome. And then there was one other one that I missed. So here, let me just get this brought up. There we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I was
being all.
adorable.
Yeah, you were adorable.
I
Totally.
could eat your heart.
Yeah. I'm just not. I'm gonna. Yeah. Gosh, they are cute. Nothing better than. Oh my god.
Oh, I like it. That's a good one.
Yeah, and it's so cool that on the background I can see a lot of books that my dad used to read, because there's a lot of books. For example, on the top right there are books in Polish language.
Mhm.
I believe some of them are in English. Actually, my dad had a lot of Polish literature because he could speak Polish very, very well due to our Polish roots. Um, and I have another picture with my bro, actually, because I found like my old album with photos, and I scanned all of them. And there is a picture with my bro. There's this bookshelf on the background, and all kinds of tank models on the top. And yeah,
Cool.
it's like thank God we have this artificial intelligence that can colorize pictures and bring back all the good memories.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's actually useful, some of this crap, right? You know, where it's really helping.
Even though my childhood passed in Soviet Union, which sucked. And guys, there's nothing worse than a freaking Soviet Union. Trust me. If you think that your country sucks, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to play a game of try to keep up on that one. That's for sure.
No, as crazy as it is here,
Yeah.
it was not like that, you know.
Dave was doing some heavy Shills research in the background, and to go along with the Vladimir Putin joke that was going on there, well, we have now a representation that's been done up by none other than NASA's AI, and that's Vladimir Putin.
Oh God!
Legit, absolutely.
Yeah, but I refuse to believe that's chocolate. Like, no.
No, that's diarrhea pudding.
That's right, because he's not worthy. He's not worthy of the chocolate. Yes, no.
That is too funny.
That's
okay, a couple of
pudding.
shout outs. Let me see here. Yeah, that's nasty pudding. For the Dick Dawson PC maintenance fund with a big heart from Betty Clan. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll put that in the appropriate fund. I definitely have to get that done soon, so appreciated much. The Shill Zone Commander 401, $10 super chat. Starsky had more hair back then, a lot more. And then Crazy Cat 1 threw €5 into the super chat fund. Hashtag boom boom. Starsky, I see you had a date with a cute girl. My question is, did you get a thank you in kind? You know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more. Say no more.
I think she has a boyfriend. I'm not sure, but I think she does. Anyways, I'm not gonna, guys, I got divorced before the big war.
It's a war, Starsky.
Yeah. But yeah, we spent some time. The main idea behind making this video was to show people that despite all the crazy shit that Russians did this winter and last autumn, basically, despite all their attempts to freeze Ukrainians, to make them suffer, to destroy our morale, but still Kiev continues living. Our people continue having fun and going out together, and despite all the crazy horrors of the war, they still can be happy, and that is the most important thing. That's the only reason why I made this video. And of course, yeah, I met a girl, because, like, you gotta meet females from time to time.
Plus, I know you enjoyed feeding all the animals.
We are not, guys. We are not dating. We literally met for the first time.
Well, they make up half the world's population. You're bound to run into one now and then.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't spend so much time with a female for quite a while. So yeah, I'm not talking about Fluffy, of course.
No, but it was a good choice. You were supervised by goats and llamas, like very badly behaved llamas,
and the rooster. And
the
oh my god,
roosters,
I feel so stupid because I called Emu an ostrich.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they're close. Yeah,
but
well, yeah,
I'm a wild Ukrainian. I've never seen them, in my
right,
life, so I
yeah,
could make a mistake.
yeah.
But thank you so much for yes, fixing that. And also like, remember that rooster with like huge
Mm-hmm.
claws.
Mm.
So actually, Taya fed him from her
Mm-hmm.
hand.
Wow.
She's a brave woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would
Totally.
say it was great to see that the morale in Ukraine is really up and
Yeah.
very supportive of everyone, the people themselves. So different than the morale that's over on the other side with everything that's going on. Like it was very it's stark comparison,
Yes.
like the
Yeah.
difference
Yeah.
in the strength of the Ukrainian people in and how life is going on, and you guys are doing a great job of, you know, keeping morale up, and it's for the people, and you've got the great support. Uh, so that was really good to see. So many people just out there just living like day to day. That was good. Very good.
Yeah. I mean, there was a commentary. Some of my viewers said that it seems that there's absolutely no war in Kiev, and
Mm-hmm.
what do civilians do in order to help the front lines and stuff? First of all, only 3 days ago, 2 citizens of Kiev died, and around 20 were injured because of the missile strike.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Second is that civilians during those missile strikes, the most popular thing to do while hiding in shelter is donating money for drones and weapons for our armed forces of Ukraine. Hundreds of millions of dollars were donated by citizens of Kiev
Mm-hmm.
while those strikes were made. And also, they keep our economics running, and they keep sending stuff for the front. So, you know, if they all go to the front, it won't save the situation because we need both civilians and soldiers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very much. Yeah. That's awesome. You wouldn't get, not every country would be able to say, oh, yeah, our citizens chip in just to make sure and whatnot. That,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, at the same time, I can confirm, and I'm gonna make another video very soon with some of the foreign volunteers. We talked today, and basically they confirmed, and you will hear that in my upcoming video, that yes, Kiev is pretty much safe because of our very, very efficient air defense. It's really hard to die here because Kiev is big, and like 95% of missiles are being intercepted almost all the time. Recently, I believe like 100% missiles were intercepted over Kiev for the past 2 weeks or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, even despite that, there's still debris, there's still things that can kill you when they fall down from the sky, and if you're not careful enough, you can get injured or dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you don't see reports of massive exodus. People aren't leaving in droves, even though there's like every how many days now? Oh, here comes another 20 missiles.
Yeah.
Very, very brave. Wow. Level 70 super chatted in there, $7 through the super chat. Thank you, Level 70. Starsky, can you show us that huge statue in Kiev in a future video? The woman with the sword and shield.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the statue of Mother Fatherland.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it's literally translate: Mother, Father, Mother. No, Mother, the Fatherland. It's, I know, sounds cringy, but this statue was made in Soviet times. There is a similar statue in Russian city of, I don't remember the name, but there's like its twin sister almost, and This statue is located at the place where a huge museum of the Great Patriotic War was located, because, as you know, Russians don't recognize the Second World War. They only recognize the Great Patriotic War against Hitler when Hitler invaded Soviet Union, after they stopped being allies with the Nazi Germans. And later this museum was reformed. Now it's a museum of Russian-Ukrainian War since 2014 and the Second World War, which is now properly named and recognized because it's Ukraine. And one thing that still bothers a lot of citizens of Kiev, and it's gonna be fixed very soon, I believe, is that this statue, this woman, she's holding a sword and a shield, and on the shield there's this symbol of the Soviet Union, which in 2023 looks a bit out of place. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Chisel that shit off.
Yeah, so we had a poll among the citizens of Kiev, and majority of them voted to change the logo to the Ukrainian trident, and I think it's absolutely appropriate.
Excellent.
And also, there is this huge, biggest in Ukraine blue-yellow flag that was installed, I believe, several years ago by our mayor, Vitaly Klitschko. And it's freaking huge. Basically, you can see this statue and the flag from any corner in Kiev. It's like Eiffel statue in Paris, basically. Like, I know that it's not possible to see the Eiffel statue from any window in Paris, but in the movies, you go to take a leak in your toilet and you will see the statue of, yeah. Basically same stuff here.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see for sure. That's cool. I'm just double checking all my little sources of information on my side of things. I'm clear. Starsky, I wanted to talk quickly about the piano you had acquired, and I'm imagining the answer is no, but have you had any time to tinker and play and, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Cool.
I'm attending the vocals classes, actually, several times a week. Yeah, because I decided that, of course, you can growl like a demon god, but at the same time, it's cool to sing here and there from time to time.
Yeah.
Especially when you start meeting other, like, females, you know. So so I'm attending those classes, and so first of all, I'm using piano because I'm practicing. Again, I don't really have much time to do that, and it's not like I'm doing it regularly, like 5 times a week, which would be great, but it's like 1 time a week, but still. And we have one update from my brigade. So there is a very popular Ukrainian singer. He sings pop music, and it's like pop, okay? He's basically like Justin Bieber, only in Ukraine. And he was mobilized and recruited to my brigade. So currently he's in the training camp. He's training to do all the things soldiers should do. Yeah, we have an air alert here. So he's training now, and I decided to make some videos for, like, you know, motivational purpose. So I recorded several videos with this man, and I took his song, and it was a pop song, but I used my keyboard and several virtual instruments, and turned it into a freaking metal. And his
wow.
vocals, he has like his vocals are very very good. He's a perfect pop singer. Okay, he's nice, but he sounds so good with like metalcore riffs and stuff like that. Oh my god!
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Something I would like to get in on. I very much love to jam and play and all that stuff as well. Air alert. How are things looking there, Starsky? Should we be watching the clock here?
Okay, so we have information about a missile flying very very fast towards Kiev over the Sumy region. I believe it can be an Iskander or something.
Hmm.
Geez, I wonder. Well, let's definitely hope that this is one of those ones where everybody can say, "Yep, we intercepted them all again." Susan Niffin there in the chat came in with a $20 super sticker chat, and it's like this cool little fox looking guy holding a little trophy with stars around and stuff. It's very cool. I wish I could make them come up on the screen, but YouTube won't let us, or the that pop-up chat thing, it doesn't see. You can see her chat was just up there, but it won't show the super stickers, just text. So we tried, but thanks, Susan, that was awesome. Very cool. Yeah. Let's see. I'm hoping soon that you'll get enough time that we can send some tracks back and forth, Starsky, and work a couple of tunes out, We could get together and, come up with some drums and stuff and layer in some bass and some guitars and whatnot and just, yeah.
Yep.
That'd be awesome. So, yeah, I think we should probably go to Dave because the chat's been rocking, and I bet he's got all kinds of great questions for us.
Absolutely. There's one from Raven here, just to try and mellow the tone. Speaking of baby, Starsky, who was the toddler in the picture you posted on Father's Day? Do you have children?
Actually, I have two.
I wonder how many people didn't know.
No.
Yeah, I have a son, and I have an older daughter. She's like 2 years older than my son.
I thought you were
and the cat and the dog.
Myself.
And the cat and the dog, I had ants, a whole colony of them. Basically, those are the kids that I know about.
Oh,
That's
my.
funny. As somebody who spent years on the road in bands playing everywhere and stuff, I've had people make that joke towards me myself. I raised one of my children, the one I know about, but yeah, you never know, right? You just, I hope not, but but yeah, we'll go back to Dave here before this becomes,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find some good food ones, actually. There haven't been many food references. Very disappointing. There is one there from, I can't barely read that. J-like? Jilk? I'm going to just ask the question. Starsky, what about the call for rebellion in Belarus from Yankees battalion? Will they have Ukraine's support to free Belarus after the war?
good question.
I'm not sure about the Ukrainian support, but again, you can buy tanks in any Walmart today. Tanks, attack helicopters, missiles, whatever. So I'm sure that they can help themselves. Ukraine is not involved into those actions abroad,
Give me 1 sec. I'll let Dave do a couple more questions here.
Sure thing. There's a couple more that's just on the theme of sons. So One came in from Janine, and I'll take the opportunity to thank everyone in the background because we every now and again we do forget to thank people for all the stuff they do to make this show run as smoothly as it can. Thank you, Janine. Is it true that Dmitry Peskov's son is fighting for Wagner? And then there was another one about, it was Starsky. What is Prigozhin's son doing in Africa, and is he a good target there? Thank you, Pike.
I don't know much about Prigozhin's children, but as for Peskov, yes, he has a dude who has a different last name, though. The dude spent years living in the United Kingdom until he was arrested for some shit. And then he moved back to Russia. He's a known Russian propagandist. And I don't think that he's fighting for Wagner, actually. He's rather like a field propagandist,
Prigozhin's son just sent in a rebuttal for us. So here, we can have a message from him right now. So yeah, probably not worth listening to,
Yeah, absolutely.
There's one from Triangle. That's a good one. You should see if you can get Starsky talking about mistakenly typing breast instead of breakfast and blaming autocorrect for it.
It was an autocorrect, I swear.
That's funny.
That just means you type the word breast more than you do breakfast.
That can be,
Starsky, does Ukraine have like a big aquarium, where you got some big tanks and people can go and see dolphins or some shit or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have huge aquariums, but we have an average size aquarium with different fish. No sharks, unfortunately. And I've been to. So I was meeting my friends, those international volunteers, and we met one Ukrainian tattoo master. Ukrainian/Canadian tattoo master. He's very famous here in Ukraine. And we decided that we should make some new tattoos. My friend will make, so he has a whole sleeve covered with all the symbols of Ukrainian war, pictures from Hostomel, for example, and a dog that symbolizes Patron, maybe. And I decided that I'm gonna have a tiny tiger shark.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we have to get a stinger done up for Shark Week when we get into animal talk and whatnot. It always comes up.
Yeah, totally. Especially now when I have so many, impressions after visiting the zoo, where I nearly got killed by emu and llama, guys. Llama.
A very aggressive one.
Yeah.
He was trying to steal the camera, like he just wanted to be on film. That llama, he was dodging Starsky's head back and forth. But that now would be a good time, since we mentioned the animals, to give us a kitty, a Fluffy and Fudge update, because I know they're gonna all ask, so.
Yeah. So as for Fluffy, I already told you that she likes to yell at me like a little angry kid, and actually, I made a video. Wait a second. So Dick, I'm gonna send you this one because it's amazing.
All right.
Yeah, and. Jesus, where I had it. As for Fudge, I think I should post some pictures to prove that I still have a dog, because
Yeah, because there's been kitty pictures all over social media, like the progress. She does look much better. She look,
Oh,
really
yeah.
cute. Yeah. But yeah, where's Fudge? I mean, he's gonna start complaining. He's gonna organize a coup there
Yeah,
in the Starsky
absolutely.
house if you don't be careful there.
Start his own channel,
Yeah, seriously. He does have merch. You should watch it. He had play.
Yeah. He will poop in my combat boots, for example.
But that's true. That is much bigger than kitty poop. So yeah. You
Oh
gotta
yeah, he's like, he has asshole this big. I mean, he's like a big man, and I'm feeding him a lot. I mean, he likes to eat, so yeah, it can be dangerous.
Oh, yeah. That shit's going to go right through your toes. You don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have
But they
we'll
get along well? Do they get along well? Does he bother with the kitten at all?
They're fine. Sometimes they're not like fighting, but it's like uh, they're not fighting. Fuchs doesn't fight kittens and cats because he lived with the cats like most of his life. But sometimes when Fluffy is around his food and she doesn't eat it because she has like better quality food actually. But when she walks around his food, like observing the area and stuff, sometimes he feels danger. He's concerned for his food. So sometimes he just tries to push her away, or he goes like, get a fuck away from my food, kid.
Totally.
It's like one of my
Understandably.
favorite. It's like one of my favorite memes. There's this cat laying on the floor, and this little duckling comes up, little yellow duckling, and the cat just kicks it across the floor like 5 feet, and it just goes skidding.
Yeah.
You don't mess with his food.
Yeah. We had a super chat come in there. It was from our Commander 401 himself. Despite common perceptions that cats and dogs don't get along, they can actually coexist and even be good friends. And yeah, I've seen it all my life. We always had both cats and dogs, and they were totally fine. The only time it became a problem is if the dog tried to eat the cat's food. Then it would get its nose scratched. But the cat could do anything it wanted.
Yeah, well, actually, the problem is cats don't really understand dogs and vice versa, because they have a different language. For example, when you see a dog wiggling his tail, it means that the dog is happy. In cats, it's a different thing. It's a completely opposite. So when for example, Fluffy sees Fudge that is happy to see her, she might think that the dude is sort of anxious or something like that, or angry maybe. And same with her, because when he shows that he's happy to see her, but he does not receive the same response from her, he gets confused. And basically their language mean opposite things. That's why they can get confused sometimes when they communicate.
Yeah, very much. Level 70 with a $7 super chat there. Starsky, did you approach the newlyweds after your video to tell them they were making the biggest fucking mistake of their lives? I put the fucking in there.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I'm writing anonymous messages to those those guys to prevent them from doing horrible mistake. Basically, I'm sharing my valuable experience with the people.
It was too late though at the zoo, right? Like it was like, oops.
Yeah, we've lost those one.
Yeah.
Those ones.
As a divorced person, I can't argue. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That's for sure. What do we got here? Okay, yeah, we're doing good on time. We'll get this one in in under the wire and whatnot. No problem. Good. Claire, was there any other news things we wanted to dive into before we're done?
Well, basically all what Starsky had covered about the coup in the last 36 hours, mostly. But here in the States, there's been a little more talk about the state of Russia in general and what it looks like, and about for our own president, that at least he's on the right side of this one, our current president, in supporting Ukraine straight out, in that will be going down in history along with all of this, that we were doing what we could to show support and in organizing with other countries too. Um, I'd have to say that a lot of countries are actually coming forward and being on the right side, especially about the use of the chemicals. I mean, as soon as that was stopped, there was a lot of backlash everywhere from all. And I don't know how much of that actually you hear in Ukraine, Starsky, like, with the international support and all like that. They did come out quite loudly right away in regards to that should not be happening. And also mostly I want to talk about some of the fear and articles that are coming out about the dam and the nuclear plant, and the danger there now with Wagner so-called uprising, like that happened. If you think that might have been some kind of diversion to something else, because
We have information that is shared among our civilians regarding what to do in case of nuclear explosion. And there is already a 50-kilometer exclusion zone that is already defined around the Zaporizhia power plant. So people are being informed on what to do in case of a disaster like that. We also know that 4 reactors out of 6 are mined by Russians, and also today the Ukrainian military intelligence reported that they already have information that the plan for attacking or demolishing the Zaporizhian power plant was already adopted and approved by the Russian high command. So, so it's a very, very serious thing here, and we're discussing this a lot. As for the international reaction, my opinion is that it's like a step as a response, because Russians were threatening everybody with nuclear weapons for quite a while. The response that we've heard from the NATO command as well as Pentagon, for example, is what was that they see no signs of Russians preparing to use the nuclear weapons. Then Russians moved their tactical nukes to Belarus, and it was just another political response to this.
It is, because now it is pretty much confirmed that everything that happened with the dam was definitely Russia.
Yeah.
That's the popular consensus out there. So it does look like a long-term plan that they had all along. But it also puts them like in a very bad light internationally as far as war crimes and the amount of civilians that they affected unnecessarily regarding it.
Big time.
That's not that's not how the game's supposed to be played, so to speak. Not that it's actually a game, but war in general. So it does look really, really bad for them. And that's what I'm saying. Like Putin's reputation right now is really tanking amongst his own people, but actually internationally. There's just like how they can push back. Everyone's looking for whatever they can just to keep pushing back. It's just that it's not the way it should be done. It's not any. There's no reason for it. That especially the one with the dam. That is just That is just so obviously disregard
Yeah, yeah.
for human life in general, for the build up that has to happen, the rebuilding that has to happen afterwards, the ecology, what's going to happen to the area in general, industries in the area is so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there
Definitely
was a
out.
message. There was a message in the chat from Confederate States of America. I don't trust Russia. Actually, I don't understand how can somebody even trust Russia, because yeah, there are people who say that there's propaganda on both sides and stuff.
Mhm.
Guys, if you're talking about thing that you consider propaganda in the US, you don't understand what propaganda is.
Mhm.
Because in the US, you can have all kinds of opinions, you can protest all kinds of stuff that bothers you. In Russia, they don't have that. In Russia, you go out with a banner, with an empty banner, with a blank banner, and you get arrested
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you will spend like 10 years in prison.
Yeah.
In Russia, all of their information that is being delivered to the user, to the viewer or listener, 100% of that information is censored.
Mhm.
Nothing happens like occasionally on the Russian
Yeah.
television. So there are cases here and there, but those are just minor cases. Generally, in Russia, you have zero freedom of speech. It's like in China.
Yeah.
It's not like in the US. In the US, you had like Tucker Carlson on Fox News.
Yeah.
You had like Russia Today. You had all kinds of different opinion, which basically
Yeah.
was a propaganda. In
Yeah.
Russia, there is no different opinion. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here they're not dying. We're not dying for opinion or suspected opinion, even. I mean, you get jailed for even a suspected opinion in Russia. You don't even have to say it. They just think you're doing something wrong. You get in trouble.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, like go back to the protests against the war in Vietnam. Every single one of those person would have just been shot or locked up forever.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of super chat shout outs here. Charlie Manson. So I hope therapy's going well, Charlie, and you're not feeling all angry and stabby anymore. So yeah, good to see you. £5 into the super chat fund there. My down payment towards 15 minutes in the wardrobe with Gigolo Starsky. You gotta get in early. That's awesome.
That's way too early.
Yeah. And then
We still have some business to finish here.
yeah, but coming up soon for sure. Oh yeah, you wait. And then Miriam Ward threw $20 into the fund to help pay for more sliced fruit for the Kazikami emu. And then glory to Ukraine there at the end. Love it. And then Susan Niffen gifted out a Shills membership. So thank you for that, Susan. And it went to Lauren. So welcome to the family. And I'll check over here and I'll check over here. I think I'm caught up. Wow, it actually worked smooth. I'm looking at the time here. I know Starsky is a very busy man over there, so we don't want to run too late, and we're coming up on an hour and a half here. So let's get a couple more questions in from Dave and, see where we land here.
Yep, there's lots of concern about the nuclear situation, lots of questions about Ernehoda power plant, and lots of different power plants I've not heard of. You've already answered that, but you could also add a little bit more to that. If you have nothing else to say, I can also throw out there a very interesting one from Jerry. Hello to you. How many Russians have you faced in battle? Where could you actually see them face to face?
I think most of the battles I've had, they happened at a distance greater than 100 meters. My very first combat that happened, I believe, in 2015 in Marianka, I believe. basically, we had a group of air reconnaissance. We launched a drone, and it was like big drone, octocopter, and we were waiting there. We were asked by the 28th brigade that was operating there at the time to, make a reconnaissance over some of the enemy positions for them. And we were already waiting for the drone to return to us. And that's when we saw a group of basically Russians, maybe Russian separatists, pro-Russian separatists, anyways. So we spotted them, and they spotted us almost simultaneously. So a shootout started, but the distance was like, imagine a field and 2 rows of trees on each side. Probably it was like 3, maybe 400 meters. So that was my very, very first shootout.
Wow.
And it was kind of interesting because there was a lot of equipment on the ground, so we had to shoot and try to take this equipment with us to the truck and GTFO. And at the same time, we were waiting for this drone to return, and for some reason, it was returning very, very slow. And this drone had a bug. Actually, instead of landing, it would just hover at the same spot.
Jesus.
I think like 2 meters above the ground, like forever. And one of our guys, like wearing armor and helmet and all the shit, he had to jump very, very high and grab this copter, and we took it with us. And he literally just threw this drone in the back of the truck, and we GTFO'd safe. But I can't say that I saw like faces of them during the battle. When, for example, your squad is firing at the enemy, it's sometimes it's hard to tell if you were the one who neutralized the enemy, because it could be your body. Then it's even hard to tell if the enemy was neutralized, especially if there's like a lot of flora around them, like trees, bushes, and stuff, high grass, because the dude could just drop to the ground and basically lie down, change position. So it's not like with snipers who can see the face, the faces. And again, situation can be different. There are snipers who operate at a distance of like 1 kilometer, and their sniper sights don't allow them to see the faces, or in the night using like Archer thermal optics. There was a moment, and not a lot of people know about it. There was a moment when I kind of tried to snipe Russians back in 2019 near Svetlodarsk Bulge, and I had a very, very nice scope. I had 26 zoom, 26 times of zoom.
Yeah.
And my rifle wasn't really like made for hunting people. It was 5.56 caliber rifle, but at a distance of like 600 meters, I'd say up to 600 meters would be more or less convenient. Again, I can't say that I literally like saw faces or something like that. I saw a helmet in the trench. After a shot, that helmet disappeared. Again, I cannot confirm that it was a kill or not. So there's a lot of things you don't really, you can't really be sure about. And at the Svetlodarsk Bulge, for example, in 2017, I already because I was a platoon sergeant. I commanded a platoon of guys. We had several heavy machine guns, and we had a position, and the enemy had their positions at 2,800 meters away from us. Another position was like 600 meters away from us. So those distances were huge. But we have a confirmed kill. I had to be prepared for this because I literally have video of that. So yeah, maybe next time. So there was this crazy story. We were operating together with the 53rd. 53rd. Was it 53rd Brigade? I guess. Anyways. So the Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and we were kind of attached to this brigade. At the Svetlodarsk Bulge, there was this reservoir that looked like pants, okay? And we were on this shore, and the enemy was here on the south. And exactly where on the pants you have like balls, okay, in the crotch, there was a Russian position, and they
Where
cooked.
else would they be?
In the ass. Basically, it's the same location. So they cooked meals and stuff. Like I have a lot of footage from those times actually, and sometimes they would shoot us, and we had to shoot back. And one time we met officers from the Brigade of the Armed Forces, and they said, okay, tomorrow we're gonna have an operation. And it was like back in 2017, I guess. They were like, tomorrow we will strike their position because they have like observers there, and whenever we move along the shore, they shoot at us, they shell us and shit. So we gotta eliminate that position. So we gotta strike them. So we will bring 4 ATGM operators, two ATGM operators and 4 missiles, and they will strike the Russians, and you will be providing covering fire using your machine guns. We had 3 machine guns and 2 heavy machine guns. And my buddy Bogdan, that you obviously know, he was my subordinate sergeant. He was a squad leader, and he was the one who was shooting the heavy machine gun, the DCK. So the operation was gonna start at around 6 a.m. It actually started around 5. I have no idea why. So first thing we heard was like this sound of a missile being launched, and I was like, "What the hell?" And we rushed towards the observation position, and we saw this ATGM flying like towards the moon, I think, or Mars or whatever. Because the ADGMs that we used, they were old, and they had like wires. Sometimes when you launch the Soviet-made ATGM with wires, those wires, get ripped torn.
Right.
And and sometimes the missile can turn around like 180 degrees and fly back at you, which exactly what happened, because one of those missiles, the second missile that was fired, actually it turned around and hit my guys near their position. Luckily, nobody died. The third missile went straight towards the positions where another Ukrainian unit was located, the IDAR unit, actually. But luckily, the distance was too big, something like 3,400 meters, I remember. And the fourth missile, and that was the one that I actually recorded on video, it hit the position of the enemy, like directly. And I was like, oh, nice. So we started, we opened the covering fire using our machine guns. Bogdan started shooting his heavy machine gun. And the guys from the armed forces, they GTFO'd. And later that day, I was messaged by one of our communication guys, radio communication guys. And he said, congratulations, there are 7 kills. And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, so we received radio interception. We intercepted a radio transmission from Russians who required a truck. And there was actually a truck that arrived to that position later. And they collected 7 bodies, like dead. I'm like, what the, like, wait, there was a single missile. Like, why so many bodies? Because I have no idea. So later, the air reconnaissance arrived to my position. We launched the fixed wing drone, okay? And when it returned, we watched the footage, and I noticed one thing. So there were several buildings. Actually, it was like a pump station, to pump water to the village on that side. And they used this pump station as their position, basically. It provided them with a good position for observation and shit. And one thing I noticed was that in front of this building, covered with bushes, with like tall bushes, there was some bright square-shaped construction, some object. And later I realized that it was like a kitchen and probably a canteen. So early in the morning, they gathered at the kitchen in order to have a breakfast. And it's like they were sitting there and they noticed that, like, they were still holding like forks and knives, but their souls were like flying away. because our missile hit directly this construction, this kitchen. So this is how they died. And that very night we were shelled with 120 millimeter shells. From the other side, from approximately 3,000 meters, they had a battery of 120 millimeter mortars. And we were the first platoon of our brigade that was shelled in 2017 by the terrorists.
Wow. Holy, man. Holy. That's one fucking hell of an introduction to proceedings, right? Jesus. Holy. A couple shout outs here. Susan Niffin's on a roll here, gifting out Shills Master memberships at the channel, no less. So Lauren had gotten one. Elizabeth Rideholm, I think I got that right, has just gotten one as well. And Charles Fournier Fournier, I'm not sure on that one, has gotten one as well. So, Susan, thank you so much, and welcome to the family, everybody. Very cool indeed. I think we're getting close on time here. So, and that Dave just took off as I was going to check to see if we had any last minute questions we should get into. We could ask Dave's chair. Dave's chair, do you have any questions that you would like to ask the panel?
I'm gonna have to leave if Dave shares answers.
I desperately wanted to switch the light on throughout the story. I know you're going to clip that, and I didn't want to ruin the lighting halfway
now
through
they can
the video.
now
So
we can see you.
it's better to ruin it now. No questions. Everyone's switched off for that amazing story. There's course. There was a really interesting one from Mary actually. Starsky, do you have to write an exam for your rank?
Do I have to write an exam for my rank? I don't remember anything like that. I had to write an exam when I was given the position of the press officer because it required me to switch from NCO to CO, which I could do because I had higher education. So that's the only time when I had to write an exam. But currently, it doesn't happen like that. When the invasion started on 1st of March, I was promoted to, second lieutenant.
He was promoted to Jesus.
How do you call a senior lieutenant, right? It's first lieutenant, then lieutenant, and then the bigger lieutenant, uber lieutenant. So so I got promoted to that one before the captain, only 2 weeks before my actual promotion. I mean that according to the time scale, I was supposed to be promoted on March 16, but because the war happened, they promoted me faster, like 2 weeks faster. And I was like, 2 weeks? Thank you so much.
Yeah. But yeah, captain now. So, rocketing up, very much.
I realized that I gotta curse less on TV because different people are watching me now.
Yeah, it gets to a build-up point, right? Trine Daly in the chat had a question. I've got guys in my DMs claiming to be AFU. Is there a way to find out if they're legit? Because it does kind of seem iffy.
Yes, the easiest way to find out if they're legit is this one. So if they messaged you first and probably had like a small conversation, some small talk, and then they asked you to top up their mobile phone or donate money or shit like that, just block them right away. They are not the legit AFU.
Yeah, that's not how they play. Yeah. Yeah. Good advice for sure.
I receive the same messages actually, because sometimes I receive messages from some beautiful females, wearing uniform, and I'm like, oh shit. And they're like, hello, how are you? What's your name? Blah, blah. Can you please top up my mobile phone? Guys, soldiers of the armed forces of Ukraine receive salary, which is approximately $1,000 per month. And they receive additional money, which is 3 times larger. The sum is 3 times larger than their actual salary, which goes like a bonus for participating in combat. And those who previously it was like those who were not at the front lines, but they were still serving and stuff. They also received bonus. So Armed Forces of Ukraine and the National Guard of Ukraine and Security Service of Ukraine and everybody else, they can afford to pay for their mobile phones and shit like that. But they will never message you first, and they will never ask you to do that shit or donate or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Well said. That's just not how they play. It's not going to be that at all, you know. And there's always legit ways if you want to contribute. So it's just easy to find those and do it that way, right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Everything. Regarding the donations, everything is, let's say, there's an order to this. Rarely some platoon commander would ask volunteers for donations. I'm not sure about other brigades, but in my brigade, it's like this. There's a centralized group that serves all the needs of the platoons and companies and battalions. So all the information about the needs of those platoons and companies and battalions are collected in this group. The group processes all the needs and sends the letter to a charity foundation like Come Back Alive, for example, or Vatra. And they will collect all the stuff that is required by our soldiers, like drones, thermal vision devices, scopes, things like that. It's not like there's no chaos in this. It's not chaotically made, like different people asking for different things. No, it's centralized. This is why we have things in order. And this charity foundation, for example, starts collecting money to buy those specific things that were requested by platoon commanders, squad leaders, whatever. And when everything is collected, again, it's sent to my brigade in a centralized way, and then it's distributed among those platoons and companies and yada yada. So it's made in an orderly fashion, so to say. I don't think there are cases, of course. There are cases when a private would try to contact like volunteers and ask for different things, but it's wrong. Like, you don't do that because it brings chaos to the whole system. Everything should be made centralized.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Right. It's going to be the most, the people that actually know and coordinate and centralize these efforts know what really needs and, dispersal. And I mean, the logistics of it is crazy. Leave it to those that know, right? Just, absolutely. We had one in from Level 70, $7 super chat there. Thank you, Level 70. Starsky, any word on what happened to that quote unquote woman who was trying to impersonate you with the financial ill gains in mind and whatnot?
Actually, I haven't checked her. I believe that she was blocked on Instagram, but I gotta check it out because she blocked me, so I cannot see her. Yeah, and I literally need to create another account to be able to check. So if you can, please let me know if she's still there.
Yeah, you can let us know in the Shills Discord server through our email, thesillyshow@gmail.com, and we can make sure he knows and whatnot. Absolutely. I think we're just at our point of wrap up and whatnot. Yeah. So what do you think, Claire? Any final thoughts?
I'm just was glad to get everything straight, to hear from Starsky on his perception of everything that's going on. It was a crazy, crazy couple of 30 seconds, more so for Starsky than any of us, I'm sure. We're all on the outside and he's right there. But I appreciate his view on it, and he's entertaining. It was quite nice to wake up in the morning and go to the zoo. So I thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was nice because it was a rough night. It was quite nice to actually have a trip at the zoo and to laugh a little bit. As always, enjoy your perspective on it, and you have our total support. And that's all I can say. Besides seeing a great picture of Fluffy, I don't know what else. I don't know what else we can add. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I don't know if I should ask Dave or his chair first. We'll go with Dave.
Thanks, man. I mean, we all know, right? Starsky's not got any bed to go to or anything. Nothing important's happening in Ukraine. What really matters is Starsky staying up late watching Elton John close out Glastonbury. Okay,
Yeah.
he's a big Elton fan, and he doesn't want to miss that, right?
Absolutely. Big fan of Elton John and Glastonbury as well. Nice place.
I think everybody supports the Queen of England. So yeah, you know. I'd like to remind everybody, you know, pressure your governments, local, regional, and national, you know, keep the pressure on for full support for Ukraine. As much as we can do with our donations and dollars, you know, when we pressure governments, we're talking about big money then. So let's keep the pressure on and make sure they're doing everything that they can. Huge thanks there to Janine Terblanche in the chat for queuing up all the questions for us and keeping us organized, and CF Beauty for running the live show chat there on the Shills account. Thank you, everybody. And our mod team, you know, and whatnot. I think we actually fucking got our thanks in properly this time. We're learning. We're idiots. What can I say? Well, I'll speak for myself anyway. But let's turn it over to Operator Starsky himself for the last words of the night. Take us out, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much for your awesome questions. I'm a bit too sleepy now, and I'm not sure if you feel satisfied with my answer, but with my answers. But I did my best. At least I tried. Thank you so much for supporting my people. It's very important.
Good call, buddy. Good call.
Yes.
And let's let the man get the rest he deserves. We'll see you all soon, everybody. Take care out there, and remember, we gotta help. We gotta help. Slava Ukraini. We gotta help.
Good night, all.
Good night.
It's over. Go home. Go.